Today's program is dedicated to all mothers who have children living with HIV. Even those who are not biological mothers, but who are greater than mothers. The sisters in Mother Teresa Orphanage at Demorin Street, K2. We dedicate this program to you because you are doing amazing work with children living with HIV. You are role models, and I believe this is what true motherhood is about, especially mothering children that you did not biologically give birth to. We salute you, we love you, we appreciate you, all the sisters at Mother Teresa Orphanage Home, Demorin, K2. According to the UNAIDS country report, Nigeria has 550,000 children living with HIV. This means that we have a lot of children, over 500,000 of them, who were born with HIV, who have been infected by their parents. Unfortunately, most of these babies die before they reach the age of 4. On the average, by age 2, the child living with HIV is dead. The biggest challenge around children and HIV is the lack of access to testing. Because when a child has HIV, there is no way to know for sure until the child is 18 months old if you're using the regular HIV antibody test. The test we need to detect children living with HIV is a much more expensive, sophisticated test kit. And that test is really so expensive that most babies have no access to getting tested. By the time they realize they've got HIV, the children are dead or they're dying. If this is the situation, what then do we need to do? We need to scale up treatment for children. Pediatric AIDS must come to an end. All of us must join the campaign to end pediatric AIDS. It's unfair. It's unfair to watch babies die. It's unfair to watch these little ones who cannot say what's wrong go through so much pressure, go through so much pain. And today we're talking about children living with HIV.
There has to be a process of mobilizing children to come to facilities to find out if they're positive. And then, of course, we can then take them on. And I think also the holistic way to doing it, in terms of being able to ensure that we don't lose out on that, is to increase and improve our PMTC coverage, because that would harvest a large number of them. And I think that some of the things we're doing now in the Ministry of Health might actually assist us in doing that. Deploying midwives to rural areas, ensuring that they provide good education. That will increase the number of them number of women, pregnant women, who actually come to antenatal clinics and also be able to test for HIV.
ICAP, which is the acronym for our center, is actually one of the leading supporters of the prevention of mother-to-child transmission of HIV and AIDS. We all know that one of the ways of transmitting HIV is through the infected mother to the unborn baby. One of the things we do know is that this is one of the most cost-effective preventive measures, not just in the sense of preventing the child from being infected, but also empowering the mother to live a productive life enough to care for that baby, and also to be able to have other children, and if she's already had other children, to be able to be alive and well to care for them.
As at 2008, the estimates were 370,000 children. Out of these 370,000, 93,000 of these children require antiretroviral drugs, and only 14,000 are currently accessing this life-saving drug.
Them alive as long as we can, with the resources at our disposal, while looking up to God for something good to happen.
So at what point do you tell your child, hey, my child, you have HIV? How do you explain to this child? How do you as a mother look your child in the eye and say, my dear, while I was having you, I infected you with this virus called HIV. Unfortunately, you have to live with the virus for the rest of your life, and there's nothing we can do to take the virus out of you. If your child does not know he or she has HIV, how do you ensure that your child adheres to treatment? How do you keep giving a child medication day and night every single day without this child knowing what he or she has got. And even if you tell the child, what's the guarantee that in ignorance, all innocence, this child will not go outside and tell her friends and neighbors that she's got HIV? What's the implication of that?
It's important to tell the child, but you have to tell the child stage by stage, and you will address the child as if you are addressing a seminar. But if you will give the child like seminar, you will be giving her the treatment or in the lecture gradually, especially when the child is in good mood.
Definitely, when a child is 2 or 3, may not even appreciate what you're about to tell him or her. But maybe at the age of about 6,
Okay.
5, 6, we start preparing our mind, his or her mind, towards our status and the needs and why, the reason why you are doing that. And apart from that, you don't even need to limit your explanation to HIV. We have sickle cell all over. And it's another congenital problem like any other disease. So you have to prepare her mind at the age of 5, 6.
The right age is 12 or 14 at most. When you call the child as a mother and a child, you sat the child down and tell how it comes about you being infected. And through that process, you did not know when you have the child and you discover that child has the same problem, which that child being infected by you through the mother. So in that sense, you don't need to come out and tell that child immediately. So you wait at the right time. You tell the child, and this is the right thing about the child.
I did my HIV test in the year 2000.
Why did you take the test?
Well, then I fell sick from the school, and they rushed me from the school down to one of the general hospital here in Abuja, which they admit me in the hospital. So after that, I run shortage of blood. They called my mom and started telling my mom that this girl needed blood. My dad is not in Abuja, he's in Bonny. Then he's working in Julius Berger. So with that, they happened to ask her to get me some blood, which she did. She got 2 pounds of blood. And after that, they transmitted me the blood without screening the blood, because she went and buy the blood from the blood bank. So after giving me the blood, for some weeks, then discharged me from the hospital, I came back home. So after some days, I fall sick again.
How old were you?
Then I was 12 years old. So I fall sick again. After that, they now happens to rush me from the same, they rushed me back to the same hospital. So the doctor knew what is happening, so they refused disclosing it to any of my parents. They now happens to rush me to Use, from Use to Gariki, from Gariki finally to Gwagwalada Specialist Hospital, which they did all manner of tests. They found it negative. So they now went to one particular test, which is HIV test. So they now found that the test is positive. So they go all around to find out where the virus comes from, because they found out that then I was too tender and I'm still a virgin. So how come did I got this virus? That is where they called the attention of my mother, that you transmit blood to this girl. She said yes. Then they called the doctor. The doctor said, oh, that he's trying to save the life. That is why he give me the blood without screening the blood. So with that, they now said, why do you do that without screening the blood? So he has so many excuses that he gave to them. They fired the doctor and he lost some of his credentials. So with that, my dad now get annoyed that they should use injection and inject me to inject back the doctor. So there is one woman that then my dad is working with in Julius Berger, which draw the attention of my dad. Because the white woman has hospital, the name of the hospital is Daughters of Charity, Kubwa. So she take me to the hospital. She advised my dad that my dad should not do anything harmful to the doctor, that I should just allow the doctor to go. That since it's like that, I'm not going to die, I will leave. So some weeks interval, when they discharged me back from the hospital, that is when my dad now called me and told me that, Gloria, I said, sir, if your friend is HIV positive, what will you do? I said, I will deny that friend. That friend will not be my friend. I'm not even going to eat food with that person. And dad now said, okay, now.
When this happened?
Then I'm still in that 12 year, because he disclosed his status to me on November 30th. That is where he disclosed that status to me. So he now told me that these the drugs that you are taking since you are HIV positive. So then, since that night, I didn't even close my eye. I didn't sleep. Just like when I close my eye, The following morning, I'm going to give up. I didn't even eat food. No more of taking the drugs. I packed the drugs, put it inside the dustbin. I used stick to sell the drugs so that nobody can pick it out from the dustbin. So with that, the condition then was somehow interior for me, which my parents could not be able to cope with it again. So it now happens to rush me back to Catholic. They call it CACA. That CACA, the full meaning of CACA is Catholic Action Committee on AIDS. So they now take me to CACA. So many people talk to me. Many people called me, they talked to me, they advised me. Still, I give deaf ear. Because that was then I want to take my junior WAEC. So I'm out of class. I'm home then. So with that, there is one man calling Emmanuel Udo, which they have to take me to Emmanuel Udo, that since this man is my trans man, because I'm from Akwa Ibom State, that it can be easy for him to convince me. So this man tried all he could to convince me. He couldn't.